Hello and welcome to 2026. Although I hold little authority to usher in the new year for you or anyone else for that matter, I do hope 2025 wound down well. It did for me. And so to a new year, unreliably tied to new efforts, new ideas, new beginnings even. The color bar fires up with some fun hits today and a survey to boot. We've got MTV, endings, echoes, reinvention, trippy posters from Vasilis Marmatakis, AI and music, a new year and more notes, and patterns of 2025 in my curated cuts. Let's go. To start off, a survey. The new year is a good time to do a light tune up for the color bar. My aim is simple: keep the parts that are meaningful, earn real attention that you really enjoy, and trim anything that doesn't. So, yes, there's a survey. It's short, really, 2-3 minutes maximum. Honestly, it's simple, it's candid, and I'd really appreciate you taking the briefest of diversions to fill it in. Please give it a go. Polite answers are optional. Brilliant ideas and MTV. I worked on MTV shows right at the start of my career, did much else, then, more than 15 years after that, became a custodian of the brand in Asia. I left it when its star was very much fading, especially in Asia, but we always found a fan, a viewer, a client, a partner who bemoaned the loss of its musical DNA and looked back on it with fondness. Now, MTV's music efforts are largely no more. Many of our feeds have seen a stream of eulogies from those who have grown up with the brand or worked for it or worked on it or just loved it. Rewind. Then someone had the simple, brilliant idea to set up a website where you can rewind through nearly 40,000 videos from the 1970s right through to the 2020s. And they've clubbed it under the umbrella of MTV Rewind. You can choose channels by decade. It now has specials like Live Aid, TRL, Yo MTV Raps, Unplugged, Headbangers Ball, and a bunch of others. And some of those MTV idents are peppered in there too. Built by one Flex, this is a proper homage to the iconic Music and Youth brand with, needless to say, zero deference or reference to any reality TV stuff. It's brilliant in its simplicity. You could argue MTV could have done something as straightforward any time in the past decade, but didn't. Do go check it out. But another smart play with MTV. The music channels for MTV around the world faded out on the 31st of December. Well done to whoever had the brilliant idea to play the song Video Kill the Radio Star near midnight on the 31st. Even though in this case lots more video has killed this video star, that choice mirrored the clever pick of this song as the first to play when MTV went live back in 1981. The Undead, and what's an unknown brilliant idea with MTV? Who knows? The new Paramount and David Ellison are in search of one. They want to reinvent MTV. I've linked to that report. Trippy Posters. I chanced upon this quite fascinating chat with graphic designer Vasilis Marmatakis. He may not be a household name, but Vasilis is the man behind the striking posters for many of director Yorgos Lanthimos' films. I definitely remember being stopped in my tracks by this brilliant poster from the movie Poor Things. We get a glimpse into his approach, his ideas, and his background. Having recently watched and loved Bugonia, I did enjoy reading about and seeing his work again. Plus, this very apt description of that weird, striking font from the movie Bugonia. He called it futuristic, but in a very analog way. AI and music again. I wrote about 2025 for Gen AI and music back in December, a piece and some videos that got a fair few reactions on the lines of, where is music going? Now, here is another good look at the state of affairs where Spencer Kornhaber looks at both sides of the divide around AI and music in the Atlantic. He concludes that a cultural counter-movement that emphasizes flesh and blood talent and craft seems inevitable. But so is a future for recorded music that grows more crowded and chaotic with each day. End quote. As music companies look to find some way forward with a series of settlements with the generative AI music companies, Virginie Berger evaluated this path. Her intent is to see how some fundamental issues are being addressed or not: consent, remuneration, attribution, while in fact making copyright infringement profitable. She says, both Suno and Udio can now market themselves as, quote, responsibly licensed platforms, pointing to their deals with major labels as proof of legitimacy. The narrative shifts from, hey, they stole content to build this, to they're innovative partners in the future of music. But the theft has not been remedied. It's been selectively licensed after the fact, and only for those with the power to demand it. End quote. The curated cuts wrap. Somehow, though New Year's are generally a time to look forward, we sometimes enjoy looking back just as much. Now, this draft of mine hung in a bit of limbo through the holiday season, but here we are. Scrubbing through 2025's curated cuts, I kept an eye out for threads and could see instincts that kept hanging around, sometimes consciously, sometimes not. If you've been dipping into these curations, you'll know this is not going to be some sort of grand conclusion from me. I don't pick these to map the state of creativity or advertising. It's more because something in them lingered: craft, oddity, humor, human decisions, a residual thought worth holding on to, or simply a reaction, okay, what's that? A recurring affection for handmade effort. This is not surprising. I love when craft and vision come together. Bread boxes quite brilliantly crafted see it differently, practically spelt it out. Multiple sets, long hours, many humans. They said one actor, 11 sets, 50 crew, no AI. Now, was that no AI a flex? Maybe, yes. But it also proclaimed that this took serious effort and effort matters. Channel 4's You Go Kids reminded us that ambitious collaboration with young people can be messy and worth it. Polaroid's gentle prodding of the digital with analog lives was not quite anti tech, but very pro texture. Claymation in BBC's Names Will Be Made for the Women's Euros, made the old fashioned way, was so kinetic and proudly handcrafted. While also on the aisle, a very British tableau by John Lewis orchestrated 100 people, 100 products, 100 seconds for a centenary of care. Absurdity and amusement. I clearly have a soft spot for the odd, unresolved, even uncomfortable, or just plain hilarious. A lot of it came from Asia, like pointlessly pointed Thai humor of the deadpan, nothing's really dramatic at all variety, or one tight slaps, mockumentary style, fearless creative liberty, as they said, or Indonesian ghosts who cleaned up their act in this far out spot. Elsewhere, How Do You Spell Olga Basha opened with a preference for no radish in the salad, but that had nothing to do with anything. Trending Today, Tacky Tomorrow employed Samuel L. Jackson to be a little braggadocious with Adidas and with teeth. Even Tilda Swinton in Be Bold, Gentle Monster belongs here with that techno wild rave energy of the spot. It was confusing, strange. It might sweep you along or drop you cold in bewilderment, I called it. Both reactions feel fair. Here were brands, though, letting themselves be silly, strange, or mildly unhinged without apologizing. AI, but try not to get weird about it. Grappling with AI showed up repeatedly across the year, but rarely as spectacle. The short film Recall Me Maybe used AI as a narrative device to explore memory, truth, and acceptance. It was, quote, a gentle but not entirely comfortable collision. AI generated post scarcity blues leaned darker, embracing irony, showing us what generative AI can do while warning us what it can do to us. And Kuko early in the year captured the balance quite nicely. Generative tools used to bend reality while staying culturally rooted and based on artist work. The how was as interesting as the output itself. While world.org put out If You're Human and You Know It, pushing its very uncertain product with a very human tone. And of course, the AI companies also gave it a go. That's storytelling, not Gen AI itself. Anthropics keep thinking pushed against the idea of AI as cognitive offloading, trying instead to bring it back to the enabler, collaborator space. While ChatGPT's campaign stayed closer to daily life, but still as, quote, our partner in stumbling from one week to the next. Both entirely human crafted, mind you. Values sans the sermons. Work that carries weight without too much shouting, I like. The Ordinary's periodic fable skewered beauty marketing by calling out the uncomfortable absurdity of beauty trends. The Worst Library made harm visible with not fiction, not exaggeration, just data made visible. Channel 4's Sorry Not Sorry doubled down on its values without flinching. What a great spot. Nike and Nor Black Nor White embraced process plus heritage. To respect the past is to respect the process and the people who carry it forward, they said. While Adidas looked again to shift the lens away from winning and toward those who support athletes with You Got This, a worldview that I noted then resonates deeply with both my life and my worldview. Even some climate leaning work, Burnham Plants and Mother Effin Wind Farms, landed through wit, reveals, and cool casting choices. Story time, letting things breathe. Music, pacing, and restraint do a lot of work across these picks. The Dance of the Sea was a languid exercise in the ebbs and flows of youth on the Senegalese shores of the Atlantic. What's Up India's 9-minute vignette was built around voice and video notes. What More, the band, their album promos earnestly rejected rockstar posturing. Even one B2B firm, Dapper, was worth a look, turning B2B marketing into a pulp fiction pastiche. Shorter but no less intentional, Guinness's A Lovely Day in America felt like a documentary in a 90-second montage. Everybody Loves a Fight for Battleground Mobile in India. It hadn't a screen in sight, and it was soundtracked by a 1956 song. Burberry's Postcards from London were lighter but continually charming. So, yeah, I like pieces that don't feel the need to rush and explain themselves. In the end, of course, this is no definitive list. It's not trying to be. I just wanted a loose reflection of what consistently caught my eye. Efforts that valued craft, embraced ambiguity in some cases, treated technology with care, occasionally enjoyed being strange. But in their way, they do reflect a year where creativity did what it always looks to do, bumping into culture, commerce, belief, and technology to make a point. Sometimes gracefully, sometimes awkwardly. And some quick hits. Grammys for album art from this year onwards, specifically for album covers. This has split from being part of the best recording package category, which considers all physical materials and images, and it is an effort, quote, to recognize the impact of cover art in the digital age. IGTV is back. Well, sorta. Get set for an Instagram Reels TV app, which right now seems quite similar to the YouTube interface on connected TVs. And lastly, enjoy a superb collection of sports images from 2025. And again, please do take a quick couple of minutes to do that survey. I love surveys. Ping me with any feedback, recos to feature, or ideas to collaborate. As always, I work with individuals and teams on content and creativity.